not what I was gonna say. So, my like worst experience that I've ever dealt with. Um, so basically, like, I was dating this one girl at the time, and she kind of like I had a heavy feeling that like she was like using me and shit, and
Why
so
she
then
trying
I
to
kind of
possess
like,
or something?
huh?
Why she gonna
What?
possess you or something?
No. So, I just kind of like I kind of like tested her and shit. I can't exactly remember what I did, but like I kind of tested her and I found out that she actually was using me and shit. And then I kind of like needed a break to myself, so I wanted to go camping by myself.
Okay.
Oh, I think you
You
told
went to
me
the
that.
And
house? You actually
huh?
did that?
Yeah. I used to go camping a lot when I was younger.
It was up in the mountains, right?
I
Yeah,
live
okay,
up
you told me
in
this.
yeah. So um okay, so there's this mountain right beside me. It's called Rendezvous Mountain, and it's like one of the most popular mountains in America. And and so I went over to it, and I went up top. I like hiked up to the top of the mountain, and I know this one park ranger, and I I told him that I was gonna be hiking
The
into
siren head.
no. I told him I was gonna be hiking in to sleep somewhere and just kind of like relax for the night because I was going through a lot of stress. So I just wanted to, kind of feel the nature and just be by myself. And so like we don't have to worry about any bears or any wildlife really like that much. So it's all chill. And and so he was like, all right. And then because I knew the guy, and so then I went into this one little like ridge of the mountain, and there was like this little like gravel paved little spot out area. And so I put my tent up and I started listening to music, and I kind of like laid back in my tent, and as like it was hitting dawn, I just kind of listened to music until it was like 9 p.m. And so I was still in my tent, and I was just kind of like laying back, and I was like really relaxing. I was like it was so nice. It was a good feeling. And so then it rolls about it rolls about 11:30. Dude, I'm getting scared just talking about this. Holy shit. So it was about 11:30 at night, and it was like a really thick moon. Like it was so bright, bro. And and it like lit up the whole like little valley, right, like the whole ridge right there. And it lit it up so well. And so basically, like, you know how like when you're laying under a tent, like you can look up and like the tent is like pretty clear and shit, and you can just kind of like see through it because it's like that kind of like fabric, like that kind of little slick. And so I was like looking up, and I could see the moon and all of the trees, all of the limbs through my tent because it was like really clear fabric. And and so I'm just kind of like looking there and shit, and stuff starts getting like thrown at my tent, and I was like, I didn't really think anything of it because like we got squirrels and shit, and so I was like thinking, they're just knocking stuff down, I don't really care. And so it started progressing and
Is it moving?
progressing and progressing and progressing, and like in it like more and more and faster too, like things were just getting thrown and thrown and thrown and thrown. And then it
Wait.
got to the point where there was this big like 2 foot like 6 inch like stick that was thrown directly sideways at the tent, and it hit it so fucking hard that it tore like a little bit of my tent. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? I was like, ain't no way that shit just, in my mind, ain't no way that shit just fell on the tent and tore my tent, bro. And so I was getting a little pissed off. Okay, so then I went over to my tent, I opened up the zipper, and I got out, I took the branch, like I laid it, I threw it off the tent, and then I kind of looked around, and I didn't really feel much, but there was like this cold setting feeling like around me. It was like a cold, like there was like no air, and it was just like straight cold. And I was like, oh, that's weird as shit. And so then I go back to my tent, and like it's like a different feeling from being cold and there like being a lot of wind. Like it's a weird feeling. And so I went back in my tent, I was laying down, and maybe like 5 minutes go by and stuff is still getting thrown, and I was just kind of like it just became kind of natural at that point. Like I was like I convinced myself in my mind that that was shit just falling from like limbs and stuff. And so then as I'm like staring up and I'm looking at the moon and stuff, okay, there's this increase breath. Like there's just like a real exhale, like just kind of like boom that happened, and I was like,
Phasmophobia,
yo,
ghost kill noise.
like it was weird as shit. I was like, yo, what the
Skeleton
fuck? And then I'm like, I thought it was like maybe that's just kind of like the wind, you know? And I'm like trying to make it really logically in my mind that like nothing's happening, even though in my heart like I feel like there's some weird shit going on. And so then 2 minutes go by and I hear it again. But this time, after it was done, there was a creasing handprint that was like, okay, so let me explain this. So I was looking up and like you can see through the fabric and the handprint, okay, was being pushed down. Okay, have you ever like had like a
Oh
cloth like
yeah,
really
yeah,
really
yeah. I
tight
think
and you're
yeah.
pushing down, like you can see the markings of where your fingers are and your hand is poking down. All right, and so that shit was like pushing heavily down, and I'm like, yo, what? And so I got up literally like 3 inches from it. Like I needed to make sure I wasn't going insane. I got up like 3 inches from it, and it's pushing so hard down. Like the hand is pushing so. Now there's no hand. Like there's no hand. There's
Were
no
you ready to
body.
look
There's no nothing. Okay, there was just a hand, like the outline of a hand being pushed down, and it was about 6 inches that it was pushed down. So like you look at it sideways. Okay, so you take a piece of fabric, you look at it sideways, and like it's in a straight line, and then imagine that being bent inside it, like about
Yeah.
6 inches. Okay,
I know
that's
what
what
you
it was
mean.
like, and it was a strong in a detailed handprint, and I was like, what the fuck? And
You
so
were
I laid back in my tent. I grabbed the knife beside me and I put it on my chest, and I was just like, I was scared for my fucking life, okay? And then right after that, this huge branch slaps the fucking side of my tent. I mean, like slaps.
Where were
Like
you in the tent? Where
I'm
were you in the
talking.
tent?
I was like right in the middle of the tent. I had my eyes kind of like where I had my head at the top of the tent to where I could see everything, because I wanted to make sure I could see everything. Like there was no advantage that like whatever it was could like see me, okay? Or like not
Yeah.
see me, but like get advantage of me. I wanted to make sure I was like boom, I can see everything. And so that's where I was at in the middle of in the tent. And so then like there was this big branch just slapped the side of the fucking tent, and that scared the living bejesus out of me, bro. I was like, what the fuck, bro? I'm like, I gotta get out of here. And so for the rest of the night, bro, there was rocks. There was so much shit thrown at my tent. I still have the tent, and it's all torn up and shit, and it's got markings all over it of like all of this like torn stuff. Like, dude, this shit was attacked, my guy. Okay, and so the next morning, okay, I get up and uh there's like barely any dawn, but I can see light. Okay, I did not sleep. I stayed open and I watched it as the whole night. There was just shit throwing and throwing and throwing and throwing, and it was like that all fucking night. It was so, and I thought I was gonna die. I literally thought I was gonna die. Like that shit was so terrifying, and so then I got up like as soon as it cracked on and I saw daylight. I got up, I grabbed all of my shit, quickly put it in my bag. I almost said fuck the tent, but then I realized like that was something that my mom got me for Christmas, and it was kind of like something I wanted to remember her by. And so I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna wrap it up really quickly, and I'm gonna like just not even stuff it in the bag. I'm just gonna throw it on my back, okay? And so as I'm doing that shit, I look at the branch, like the big ass fucking branch that slapped like the tent, and I looked at the crack on it, okay? And I looked at where the limb was, and I look over, I'm not kidding, like 35 feet over to my left, okay? I saw where it came off, and I'm, oh no, bro, out of the
Wait,
dipped.
what happened?
Bro, it was broken off, bro. That
Oh.
shit scared the shit out of me, bro. It was broken off and brought over like around 30 feet just to slap my tent. Like that shit. Oh hell no, bro.
Any ideas still? Of what happened?
I'm about to get to the good part, alright? So
Oh.
I rush up the mountain, okay? I rush up the mountain. I get to the top where there's a big opening parking lot, and it's still like pretty dark, but you can kind of see a little bit of dawn. And so I got up top. I got up to the top where the parking lot is, and I just kind of sat there, all right? And then the park ranger came in like maybe 6 minutes later, and he pulled up. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "You're up here really early. How was your night?" And I said, "Dude, I don't want to fucking talk about it. It was it was nuts." He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Dude, I'm like, dude, there was so much like weird shit that happened. There's stuff throwing at my tent. There was this like handprint and stuff, and I just kind of like rushed through it all in my mind, and I just kind of like spit it all out in words." And then he's like, "Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up." He's like, "Where did you sleep?" And I'm like, "I slept right in between the ridge, like right in between the mountain." And he's like, "Did you just ignore everything that all the signs that were put up and everything?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Dude, I've been doing this for years. What are you talking about?" He's like, "Dude, the ridge, that's a haunted fucking ridge." I'm like,
Oh.
you're kidding me, dog. You're kidding me." And he's like, "No, everyone knows that." He said, "Why do you think I've been putting up signs down there? I mean, keep people out of that shit, man." And I'm like, "Oh, bro, I had the coldest chills going up my neck." And I
Damn.
walked back down there the next day with my brother, and I saw all of the fucking signs, and I was like, "Holy fuck, man." That was like probably the worst decision I've ever made in my life.
Oh
And
my
that shit
god.
was like, and it's still there. It's still there to this day. And like, am I gonna go back up there? Fuck no. But like, that shit is
Is
nuts.
that your scariest story?
Huh?
Is that your scariest one?
That's yeah, that's probably my
That's
scariest
scary
one.
as shit. Alright, here, watch my stream.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find this mountain. What's it called?
Alright.
Hell yeah.
Rendezvous.
Rendezvous.
Rendezvous? Alright, we can find out where Heroic lives.
No, okay. No, is this your old house?
Yeah.
Oh.
Alright. Rendezvous. Oh, there's my house.
Mm,
Don't fucking worry about it. Rendezvous.
it's all good.
That's nice, but rendezvous.
I have no idea.
Where is it? Where is it?
It's in North
Massachusetts?
Carolina.
Okay.
No.
Rendezvous Mountain. There we go. Purelear, North Carolina.
Wyoming?
Is that it?
Wyoming.
Rendezvous? Yeah, that's not it.
Yeah, that mountain just doesn't
I
exist.
saw one in North Carolina. Hold on. North.
There.
State. It's state forest. Okay. Close.
Is that it? Hold on. Yeah, that's it.
Wilkes County. Alright.
Wilkes County, yeah, that's it.
Alright. Let's look at the reviews. Maybe this one. Clean ear. Enjoy.
It's a nice mountain. People go hiking still on it every day. That's a really pretty place. You never see anybody go over to the ridge. And now I understand why.
Busted my tire.
Busted my tire.
Bob was a complete jerk. We had. Besides, we're not.
Bob is not a jerk, bro. He just don't like dealing with pricks.
We have to call him and let us
Jancy.
out. What if my son could have been hurt? I'm never go back to this place. Damn, Bob.